Hello, everybody, and welcome back to an exciting, brand new episode of Attack on Show. I'm Robbie.
And I'm Jay Marsh.
We got a special guest with us here today. Director Tim Smith is here. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Very welcome, Tim.
Happy to have you on here. He is the director of a YouTube short film that we're going to take a look at, The Russian Sleep Experiment. Mm-hmm. You're probably not going to sleep much after you see it.
Absolutely not.
Before we get to that, though, we're going to take a look at some movie news. We have some exciting updates with Star Wars.
Pokemon,
which we called out a few weeks ago. Can't wait to validate this.
Absolutely.
And then another call out from a few weeks ago. Scene 38 is finally done, so we're going to update you guys on this. And then we're going to take a look on Extremist. Nice job, Tim. Nice job. Well
nice
done.
Job. New guy. Fantastic, right?
We're going to take a look at Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, Vile, which is a Netflix original movie with Zac Efron. It's one of Jeff Seidel's Ted Bundy movie we're going to take a look at. And then we're going to button it up with I Miss My MTV. The artist is Death from Above. This is a wicked track, Never Swim Alone.
You should never swim alone, period.
No, unless you got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Attack on Show.
All right, so we're going to start things off with some movie news today. A few episodes back, we called out FX It in Post.
FX It in Post. Attack on Show wants to know, where is this fight sequence?
And Scene 38, for those that that haven't watched the previous episode, you're missing out. But it is a revision of the Obi Wan Darth Vader fight scene from A New Hope.
Right, and it kind of fits in a lot better with the whole premise of when you're transitioning from the prequels over to the later films. I think a lot of us can make the argument that was the weakest of the lightsaber fight scenes.
Yeah, because they were just kind of fencing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this really kind of makes a dramatic difference without giving away too much of that scene.
Yeah, you can see some footage here playing. It's a wicked fight scene. We're not going to post the whole thing on here because we want you guys to go check out FX in Post, because then he might retweet this episode later to say, hey, these guys are cool.
Or we're going to force him to retweet it.
Yeah, we'll go after him. Some other exciting news on the Star Wars front. Disney did release news that they are going to release another 3 Star Wars films. They were careful not to state trilogy. I don't know if you noticed that in the press release.
I did, yes.
It was going to be 3 films starting in 2022 will be the first one.
With 2-year gaps instead of the back-to-back ones that they've been doing up till this point.
I was always saying, I've always wanted to see a Boba Fett, Western almost. Like, he's a bounty hunter.
Well, have you seen the Mandalorian updates? You might get
you might get your fill. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is going to...
we covered the Mandalorian on the previous episode. I think you'll get your fill there with the Mandalorian effects. But the other news that came out of Disney, Avatar has now been pushed back another year. It was supposed to come out December 2020. It is now coming out December 2021 and then 2023. It's basically going to be Avatar, Star Wars, Avatar, Star Wars.
Rob, I'll be completely honest with you. I think if James Cameron is running, I think it's going to be a hard press to get that every other year for him. He's not.
Well, they're all filmed right now. They're all filmed. He's filming all 4 movies as one shoot. So I think they're just going to be in the post-production stages once he gets one done and just working on. He's, the guy revolutionized this film with every movie that he does. I think there's a lot to be said. Like right now, everyone's looking at Endgame to take the #1 spot and beat Avatar.
It's coming up there.
I will say, money aside, I still would rate Avatar as the biggest movie in history, even if Avengers tops it in the box office.
Rob, I agree, and it revolutionized film.
Well, and it didn't have 10 years of build-up. If you think about it, Avatar is an original standalone film that took #1.
Yeah.
Endgame had 10 years of movies to build up,
and
to build
21
to
films before it to set the precedence for it.
So I would still vouch that Avatar was still a bigger success, even if the money comes in for Avengers.
I just think it's far as if you're talking culturally, I think that Endgame kind of sums up an entire generation of film
and that carries weight.
No, right? I agree, but
it's hard to say. Yeah.
Definitely agree. And then on our final update, we have to give a shout out to one of our previous episodes. It's right here if you guys are interested to click over. Not yet, though. You can come back to this point and click. But Ryan Reynolds gave some news. On top of his leaked full Pokemon video that he put out there, he shot a link out and it ended up being 2.5 hours.
Are we going to put that below?
Pikachu dancing. That's below as well.
Yeah, sure.
We'll link anything we can to get views. But we on a few episodes we did preview review for Pokemon, and we kind of suggested that Ryan Reynolds, they should kind of do the reverse of Deadpool 2. They should release a PG version of Pokemon and then come out with an R-rated for the adult Pokemon fans.
Absolutely.
I feel like they need to do the reverse of Deadpool. Like
Yes,
release
and
this
have the
kid
R-rated version?
and then do
Yeah,
the Once
absolutely.
Upon a Pokemon
I would be so excited by
R-rated
that.
version,
Yes.
because that would be very cool. But
Ryan Reynolds today announced that, yes, they did record R-rated lines and that there was enough deleted footage they could release an R-rated version. So I would be all over that. I would be super I would watch both versions. I'd go see the PG version.
How would you release that, though? Would it
In
be,
theaters.
It would be in theaters. You would release an
You
R-rated
have to be
version.
careful though. What if you bring your kids to the wrong one?
Well,
It is the argument I make. I could see that being released in some other format, but
DVD.
definitely, DVD
Yeah.
or something out there for that.
I think you do a special 2-week release like they did Deadpool just before
Yeah.
it's coming
All right,
out.
yeah.
I think that the crowd when Pokemon came out are all older. I think there's a crowd out there that actually would go buy tickets.
There's a huge
and see
market,
this.
yeah.
Yes, I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I just want to say, Attack on Show was there first for that
We
rumor.
really were.
We started. Ryan Reynolds must be a fan of the show. So what we're saying is you should subscribe.
Absolutely,
to Attack on Show, so.
literally we're leading the charge.
Now, I think it's time to move on to my favorite segment, my favorite intro segment. I love this graphic. Attack the Web.
God, that is always rough to listen to.
Love that noise. So, as we stated in the intro, we have Tim Smith here, the director of the Russian sleep experiment. You have 7 million views on this?
Yep, 7.
Just a couple more than us.
After tonight's episode, you can expect 7,000,007. So, I guarantee you that, my friend. But tell us a little bit about the project, the plot, what got you involved.
Yeah, the story is about 3 Nazi war criminals that are held in custody in a Russian compound during World War II.
Okay.
And they're given an experimental gas that keeps them awake for 30 days.
Couldn't you just use Monster?
5-hour energy, maybe, like,
All right, nice.
mixed with
Nice.
that.
No.
Just keep drinking. That's
yeah,
how we
yeah,
roll all
that's how we
night.
roll. What inspired you for this project?
I read this story. It's from a myth. Basically, it's been around for decades. It
Okay.
kind of got popular on the site Creepypasta. So I saw that, and I really, I just saw so much potential for it.
So tell us a little bit about making it.
It was about a year or so of pre-production.
Oh, wow, that long. Okay.
I had the script rough, it was pretty much finalized the year beforehand. I did some tweaking just because I'm,
Always
obsessive.
tweaking. Yeah.
Exactly. It's never done. You never take it out of the oven. But I was maybe a year or so in when I finally had everything settled. I had location. Dylan Sides, who I'm
The man.
Thank you, Dylan the man.
frequently collaborating
Yes.
with. That's where I actually met him. He built the set.
Oh, really? Okay, that was your first interaction with Dylan then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, very cool.
I had a friend recommend him. He's done music video sets, and without him, the wall was actually made out of styrofoam. That brick wall.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh,
You
wow.
Just thought you guys found a room. I
I did
Yeah.
too, as well. Exactly.
It was
yeah.
just a specific room that I was I was looking everywhere as asylums, hospitals, everything, but
And he just-
nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, he built
Nice.
it to spec. I showed him where a window should be, everything. That was one thing that there's complaints where it's some people complain, some people don't care that there's some deviations from the original story.
And you
one's
and
the
I have had
window.
discussed this, that you
Yeah.
chose to change a little bit off of the original story to give it a
You
different
have
concept.
creative
Sure.
control. It's your film.
Yeah, so F off.
I do want to say on the technical side, obviously, when you watch a lot of these YouTube films or you watch a lot of these independent movies, I always, the first 30 seconds is going to be your make or break.
Sure.
You've got to catch. I loved, the intro of your film.
Thank you.
The sound was
Yes.
on point with the walking and the long, drawn-out shot of walking over to the room. I
Thank
thought
you.
that was very well done. And immediately from there, I was hooked on the film. The sound is cool. The scientist, his voice, perfect pick.
You will find comfort in the floor as you had in your cell.
Gary Bruner, man, his voice can move mountains.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because I was listening to the playbacks, of when we're pulling selects of the footage, and Gary's voice just boom, and then my voice, cut. That was great, guys.
No, he was spot on. The look of the film, very David Fincher-esque. I kind of felt watching the
Thank
movie.
you.
Was
You're a
that
big
its
fan.
own-
Yeah, David Fincher, Kubrick was a huge influence as well.
Oh, all right.
My DP and also frequent collaborator, Brandon Keller, we both had like the same vision for it as well. The kind of one-point perspective, a lot with the window kind of being a focal point in a lot of the shots. Like
it's a part of it. It's a character in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, that window that's set there is
kind of like the eye of God in a way.
Oh. How'd you find the recorder? That's a heck of a find.
Honestly, like a lot of the pre-pro was just like finding crap like that, like going to like
literally watch that movie. I'm like, that had to be hard to come by.
Exactly.
Just knowing what
it's
it
funny
takes.
that you say that because it was one of the things that grabbed me in watching it was that as well.
Yeah,
yes.
the recorder. No, and the makeup in it was at Dylan Sides as well. Did he do some of the prosthetics? Or
that was Troy Holbrook. Actually,
nice.
Dylan did do the eyes without giving it away. I would just say keep it like vague like that.
Absolutely, no.
Wicked job on
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
He's always very good at that.
Yeah,
very good overall story. The runtimes was it 25, 28 minutes?
28 minutes.
28 minutes.
How many days did that take you?
We shot 90% of that in 2 days.
Wow.
Actually.
Now you had like a fundraiser set up for this.
Yeah.
I saw you had an investor kind of back out, so it was a little tricky on the pre-production side.
Yeah, we had somebody that believed in the project, and they unfortunately decided they didn't want or weren't able to help out anymore. Yeah, get them. But yeah, they. It was maybe a week or two before we were gonna start shooting, and I already made all the arrangements and everything, and luckily, DFCU, I'm gonna plug them,
nice,
see if they can sponsor.
Nice.
But get a credit union.
Yeah. Oh, and they stepped up for you. How hard is that when you're making one of these short films to find the money to kind of get your vision across?
It's impossible because to say hey, do you want to invest in something that it pretty much has zero return on profit?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
What do they get out of this investment?
That I pay it back with interest is the only I just it was maybe $4,000 or $5,000. Honestly, it wasn't a lot of people are thinking that this was a huge Hollywood budget, which is very humbling. Thank you for thinking that it's
that's
people
a good comment. We get that all the time. But
they were comments come on, guys, give them a break. They only had 30,000, 40,000 or something to make this. I'm like, yeah, I wish.
Yeah, only 30 or 40,000.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the comments? How do you deal with the criticism in something like that?
I laugh them off a lot of times. Some of them are funny where it's a big deviation that I did because I misread it when I first read. I read this a million times, the original source material, and I was really when I first misread it, I was that's actually more interesting. Was the prisoners in the original everyone was Russian in the original. I thought it was more interesting that the prisoners be Nazi POWs because it's they're the bad guys now. They're in a torturous situation.
You're gonna die if you don't do this, and obviously they have no fear of killing these people.
Yeah, and you shouldn't really have sympathy for these obvious villains of history, but I kind of want to play with people, and maybe they find themselves oh, I do for these awful human beings. Yeah. And I like that. I like people that.
I love that.
I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. Sorry about that.
Of course, we're gonna believe it, but it's funnier when it's bleeped.
Perfect.
We found that out.
I've proven that over and over again.
Shit. I was just making a point. Let's not explain it. But
he just oversalted the pasta.
I think that's something that has to be done, though. Obviously, when you have a story already floating out there, I give you credit for finding an interesting way to change it up because. I know there's people that get upset when they read a book and then the movie's different. It's well, of course it's going to be different because you've already read the book.
That's why you're in there. And I'm out here.
The Russian Sleep Experiment, very well job, a great job on that movie.
Thank you.
I love the way it turned out.
Yep.
The lighting on it was on par. The acting, the actors inside the room, they all did a great job portraying their roles. I mean, because that's a tricky role to play.
It is.
And your filming aspect, I loved your angles. The up close shots that you had of when he's talking into the microphone, the sound recorder. You had some very interesting shots in that movie that while watching, I was blown away by. You did a very good job on that. So. Which now you're trapped on set now for the next half hour. So
wow.
We're done.
Sorry.
So,
he thinks he's leaving.
You want to intro Extreme It?
Intro Extreme It. What is this?
Extreme It with the original Extreme It.
Extreme It.
On this week's segment of Extreme It.
I was late. Yeah,
I'm learning.
He's picking it up. We're going to take a look at the Netflix original movie, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, Vile. It's the Ted Bundy story starring Zac Efron.
Zac Efron, yes.
Honestly.
Listen, I got to give some credit there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
And I just want to say for the record that if the women in my life portray me this well, or half as well as this, I'm doing okay.
Zac Efron plays Ted Bundy, and the interesting view of this film, without giving away too many spoilers, is that it is told from his early on girlfriend, fiance's point of view, which is obviously sparking some controversy with people viewing the movie and the public, because they're thinking that this is like glamorizing Ted Bundy.
I truly feel I actually had a hard time watching this, Rob, and
he didn't have his shirt off that much.
No, he didn't. But I did, though. I had a hard time watching this. I'm kind of a God. As I say, I've read into Ted Bundy in the past, and I had a hard time watching this because it is so glamorizing of a complete, absolute monster. Yeah.
Interesting. Some of the shots, I do give the film credit in that it does follow the story very true to some of the factual events as far as what we know. When they're reading him when he's going to court and they bring him out of the elevator, that really happened, and you can find the real footage, and they word for word, like they followed a lot of those events in the movie. You can find on
everywhere.
YouTube live videos, so they did a good job portraying that. I give them credit. Jeff didn't like it. I give them credit in the idea of that they told it from this girl's point of view because she stuck by him throughout. And I think a lot of people on the outside watching this unfold in the real world always questions these people. It's like, they're crazy. This woman's mad. How can she support this guy? I think it's interesting to watch it from this point of view.
I feel like I'm on top of the world.
What an incredible acting! Truly, just amazing job.
He's moving beyond the boyish
the campy
looks,
that or the campy.
This is a true
comedy.
acting.
Yeah.
This is a very true acting experience for him.
I was always thinking that I was gonna see him be like almost snakish and be like, I'm evil, and he wasn't like that at all. He was just like as manipulative as like, I don't know, all
Ted
my
Bundy?
exes.
Yeah.
I am that innocent.
The movie, if you watch it for what it's worth, his portrayal of this character, you sit there and question, and you can kind of see it from his fiance's point of view of the way he's so convincing, and that
Leave this garbage, do you?
It's in all the papers, Ted.
Monkey! Oh!
is true to who Ted Bundy was. Like he was very manipulative. He could
incredibly as a
charismatic.
narcissist, probably and I think that's why people are so transfixed by him. Is his I mean, this man is
well-spoken,
a genius, well-spoken,
educated.
just not anything that you would expect a monster like that to be.
Shout out to John Malkovich.
You look nice, partner.
I'm
doing his best John Malkovich.
You are skating on thin ice.
But pulling it off very well. I mean, you said earlier you really liked his performance in the film.
Absolutely.
The mentorship, the character, because I do like watching. I give this film credit. Is at the end they show real footage and how well everyone looks close. But then there's John Malkovich. Where like, just put glasses, just be you.
Close.
Like, we're cool. You can do whatever you want. But the mentorship between him and Zac Efron as Ted Bundy. The chemistry between them, I thought was amazing watching them in the courtroom going back and forth.
It almost felt like a professor that a student was trying to earn the respect for. I felt like it was almost like Ted Bundy looking up to him being like, I want to be like that one day.
Right.
And it was weird. And especially at the end when, no spoilers, but he gets,
we all know what happened.
History. But when he gives his speech to him and he's like, telling him like, I don't have any animosity towards you. Right. It was like this like moment of like,
I would have liked to have had you in my court, as an attorney or a bright young man. And there's real footage of that. The judge, that again is a video you can find on YouTube of the judge actually saying that to Ted Bundy. I think it's actually in the after credits as well. But interesting. I mean, here this guy, this monster's on trial, and the judge is, you wonder why his fiancée was bought into him, and here the judges after this trial
literally
still respecting him and saying you were a bright man, which is sad when you think of it, because he could have been a great attorney. When you see how he handled this whole trial and convinced so many people, and it's like what a waste to be such a monster of a human life. And the judge nailed it. And John Malkovich relays that line perfect. I mean, the way it's delivered,
and just keeps on him the whole time on Ted or Zac Efron. The whole time, because it's like, this is about him. It's not about the judge giving it to him.
Right.
And I was like, that's a good choice.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, no,
Thumbs up.
The whole movie was filmed really well. Because like I said, a lot of these, when you get in these serial killer, movie, documentary, true stories, I believe a lot of them like to go that like grotesque, murder, blood, gore style. And I like the idea that this movie took a different approach. That it took the approach, this is how this person saw him. and not just make him, not just try and show gore, not just try and show him as this crazy. We all know he was crazy. That's a given.
Yeah.
We didn't know
Absolutely.
this side that other people saw of him, and I appreciated that the film brought that out, and
Fair.
I actually enjoyed
Absolutely.
the movie. This will be. I mean, we've been really knocking down some Netflix movies lately. I give this one a thumbs up to definitely watch it. I think it's worth, if you have the Netflix subscription, sit down and watch this movie. I think it's well worth it.
I didn't want to like it when I sat down to watch it. I was gonna tear it apart. I was like, okay, it's gonna be another like romanticization of a serial killer, like again. And then I sat down. I was like really surprised. Like maybe a half hour in, I was like, oh no, I'm liking this. I'm wrong.
No, don't like Jeff.
I'll let them talk at this point right now. I think I came across at the beginning as I did. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next?
Next is
Music?
I want my MTV.
You miss your MTV?
I do miss my MTV.
You miss your MTV?
I do miss my MTV.
Welcome back. It
Absolutely.
is now time for I Miss My MTV. This is Tim's first I Miss My MTV. So, Tim, we really pride ourselves on this segment. This is kind of what got us started.
It did, absolutely. This was kind of our original concept.
Yeah, we love music, and this week's episode, we have a new band. It's Death from Above. Actually, this track came out a couple years ago, but really didn't take off. Now, they're going to get 7 more views because we're popping them on Attack on Show.
Not only get 7 reviews, we are the direct route to Alt Nation.
Yes, Alt Nation is going to pick you guys up.
On Sirius XM, we are the direct route to Alt Nation.
And when they do,
there is someone sitting there going, "Who do they got? All right, sign them, sign them," because they're That's how it is. No one knows that yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Never Swim Alone.
There's gotta be another one coming, another generation, ready for the revolution, or a change of station. Never swim alone. Never swim alone. Pray to American Idol, YouTube haircut so in style, soda stream spray, ricochet.
Yeah, no.
What'd you think, Tim? How's that?
I dug it. Yeah, I like the distorted vocals. It was fun.
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely.
The video fits. It's that track was actually released 2017, so Alt Nation's going to come calling Death from Above and
you're welcome.
retweet this episode
Absolutely.
and thank us.
And Solak, obviously, you did a phenomenal job in this video. I give you all the credit in the world.
Thank you, Tim, for coming by.
Yeah, Tim, thank you
Seriously,
so much.
It was good
wonderful
having
night
you.
with
Pleasure.
I hope you had a
Absolutely,
good
thank you.
time.
Yeah.
This glass here, just so you know, all visitors get to get their take-home whiskey tumbler. So that is
Oh, no
your
kidding.
glass. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm
And I
honored.
can't afford to wash it, so you got to take
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
so that went right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, also don't forget, June 1st, June 2nd, we're going to be at the Downriver Comic Con. No
Absolutely.
longer Comic Con. We can't say that.
Oh,
It's
we
the-
can't use that word
the
anymore. It's
Downriver
their collector show.
Yes. Thanks, Comic Con.
Dicks.
Just ruin it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that term's now is
Copyrighted.
copyrighted.
Yeah.
So it's the Downriver Comic Con. We're still going to call it
Yeah,
that.
we are.
So
Like rebels that we are.
everybody, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Definitely go check out the Russian Sleep Experiment. Now you're safe to click. We'll be okay if you leave the episode from here. As always, I'm Robbie.
And I'm Jay Marsh.
This is Tim Smith. This
Bye.
is
Attack on Show.